Everyone, Chris Chappett here, and I want to make this video to help anybody else out who may be in the same boat as I am. I bought a Garmin Edge 130 Plus. I think just the Edge 130 without the Plus would be the same or nearly identical repair to the one that I did, but I crashed my mountain bike, handlebars flipped around, and smashed the LCD or screen, and yeah, it looked like this, which is pretty bad. Of course, it was just out of warranty, and Garmin wants $110 and probably shipping and tax on that as a non-warranty replacement. And being the cheap bastard that I am, I decided to take a look and see what the alternatives were. There are a lot of people out there warning you against this kind of third-party hacking or repair. But, you know, I found this thing on AliExpress for $19. I will put a link in the description, but that's basically what I saw. It came to $20.48. This is California sales tax. In order to get it here, it took a little over a week, I think, or about a week to get it, but got it, I did. And I watched a video on YouTube. The guy had a Garmin 530, and so it's a different unit, but looks kind of close enough. And mostly what I learned from that was he had an exacto knife with the sharp edge. I just had this like razor blade, but this thing pretty much just sits down in the case, and he just took his razor blade and put it between the LCD screen and the case and went all the way around and carefully pried it up. I mean, mine was a friggin' mess, and the more dangerous part of this for me was to not get shards of glass embedded in my fingertips. But I avoided doing that. But I think what's important to note is that as you're doing this, you know, you can kind of pry this up, maybe do that, but you don't want to cut really deeply, especially over here on the left-hand side of this, or anywhere for that matter. There's just a little kind of like, you know, ridge, and it feels like kind of foam and glue, like it's like there's a little bit of depth to whatever you're cutting in. But you should be able to go around the perimeter with an exacto, a razor blade, or something, and be able to get to the point of removing that. So once you do, you'll find that this thing is tethered by these two kind of like ribbons, for lack of a better term. There's wires in them ribbons, and that's what communicates from the board to the screen. The back side just looks like this. That's like, you know, paper. You can see that one thing I actually pulled off kind of by accident, but didn't matter because that one's trash anyways. So back to the screen. You kind of razor blade and pry that off, and then I'm going to point to it with these tweezers here. But this guy right there is kind of like a snap, you know, on clothing, and that it just will pop out with a little bit of pressure. And then this guy over here slides out. It's underneath this, and that is just a kind of a you know, a post or a, I don't know, it's a weird, you know, connection. But I'm going to show you these pictures that I took. I know this is kind of janky taking like screenshots, but that's kind of repaired. But if you can see those three, you know, three wires, if you will, or in the ribbon, that's what has to slide underneath that post. And then the other one, that's like the underside of the the snap, so to speak. So in any event, yeah, once you're able to take that off, you're able to take the new one. It takes a little bit of coordination, but you should be able to snap that piece onto the board and then slide that under. And I wish I could tell you that there's like a really fantastic methodology. You may want to use something like a pencil eraser. I couldn't really find a great way to get a hold of that and do it, but basically I aligned it, and there's enough structure in that kind of L-shaped piece, or there was for me, to be able to push and slide that thing over. And having looked at, the one that was on the bad screen, I surmised that it was far enough under and in that formed a connection. And then the proof was in the pudding. I went ahead and pushed the start button, and as you can see, the screen is on, and I basically have the full functionality of the Garmin back. And now I just I'm going to need a little bit of glue to put around, and I welcome anybody to share his or her own story about what glue, rubber, cement, what you want to do. It should be probably something kind of semi-permanent so that you don't totally seal it up and not able to take it off, and preferably, waterproof, because you do ride in the rain and get, splashed on and stuff. But I'm on my way to the complete repair. I'm just decided to, before I seal this thing back up, make this video and share. So $20 versus what would have probably been over $120. You do the math. There's $100 in savings. It wasn't that bad. And worst case scenario is you screw it up and $20 down the drain, and you go and you buy the new one. But I thought it was worth the effort, and I am actually super stoked that I was able to do this for $20. I got a ride tomorrow with my friends. I really need the heart rate monitor and all the things that the Garmin gives me, so I'm super glad to have this back as a tool in the tool belt, in the arsenal of trying to stay fit and ride bikes into my 60s. So I hope this is helpful to anybody else who's thinking of doing it. I recommend doing it. It's really not all that hard. And if this helps out, give me a like. You don't need to subscribe, because I don't think I'm going to regularly be breaking stuff and putting that kind of content out there. But whatever you want to do is fine with me. Ciao.